Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody had a great Tuesday today because it was amazing. How about that BTCT? Holy cow, that thing went through the roof. And I guess I added it to the list for a good reason. And I actually bought some, and I was really happy today because that thing went nutty. That was a great day today. So here we go. Let's find some more of them bad boys. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And then we had CERO, LGMK, which is Logic Mark, LSB, COOT, the Yang's moving. I mean, it's just endless every single day now. MAXN, Maxon was moving. I mean, just so many of them. So here we go. Let's get cruising through the list, see what we're looking at for tomorrow, and let's get rocking and rolling and find some more of these BTCTs. And we'll start off with that guy. And it did close at 1050. What did it even open at? I don't even remember. It was just so crazy today. Um, it opened at 339. And again, we were looking at it. I put it on the list in the bot, like in the dollar nineties, probably even lower than that. It probably was in the dollar seventies, I think. And that bad boy ran up to $17 today. So it went absolutely ballistic. It opened at 339 and it went nutty. And that was at BTCT. It's called BTC Digital, and it's a China company and it's computer hardware. And I said before when I put it on there, I'm pretty sure they had something to do with like Ethereum or doing something. I'm not even sure, but it did go nutty. It closed at 1050. It pulled back to 892. What it's going to do tomorrow, I have no idea. So just look at it in the morning and see if it wants to run up. But I definitely locked in some profits. If it goes higher, it goes higher. But it was a crazy day, and I'll take them profits any day of the week because they were wild. So that was a beauty right there. How about CERO? That one ran up quite a bit today as well. CERO. That opened at 19 and went up to 35, but we were looking at that way down here in like the 8 and 7 cent area. And that, like I said, 35 cents. So in the last few days, that got cruising. And it's way up there right now. So we'll have to see what it wants to do. It kind of looks like it had that weird look yesterday as well. So I think it might be topped out right there tomorrow. But take a look at it and see if it wants to move any in the morning. And that was CERO. And how about Logic Mark? Because that one went crazy as well. And this one ran up quite a bit. LGMK. And it opened at 15 and went to 28. And we were obviously down here in like the nines and wherever. And yeah, that was quite a nice run as well for LGMK. And I think they even had earnings today, didn't they, on the 12th, which is today. So they did have earnings, have no idea what they're going to do, but it's going to hit that top there. So it looks like it might want to bounce back. Look at it in the morning if it wants some momentum. But again, played that perfect. LSB, how about this guy? This one was running up today and it's going to continue to run. And we picked this one out at the bottom down here, November 5th at $1.88, and now it's at 316. So that one got moving as well. It opened at 242, got up to 319, and it's about a 285 in the after hours. So that is at Lakeshore Biopharma. And another one we were super early on, COOT, that Australian oil seed holdings. This one we were looking at way down here. We even saw where the bottoms were at like 61 cents. And today that got moving up to about at least 89. It might have even got a little higher. I'm not sure. 89 was its high, opened at 72. And yeah, that one wants to cross through and try to run up more tomorrow. So that's COOT, Australian Oilseed Holdings. And another one we were super early. I know that was on a laptop lowdown list, and it just popped up, and I was posting about it the other day because it was trying to set up. So that's just another one. The yin and the yang. The yin was down 354, just like we were talking about. and down even more in the after hours. Let me see. I didn't look at it in the after hours, to be honest, and it looks like it's crashing down there. So that must mean the Yang is looking good, and it was today. It moved up about $9, $8 or so. Got over $80 at one point, I believe. 79.90 it says right here. And it looks like when I was saying the other day it wanted to get to that 100. It looks like it wants to get to that 100. So the Yang is looking good. And first stop's going to be 91 and then it's going to be 100. So it's going to get cruising. Watch it move some more tomorrow. And I know I have options on it, and honestly, yeah, you couldn't time that out any more perfect because I think they expire in about a week or so. And I was actually like, man, this thing's kind of crazy, but it's definitely hitting it now. So I'm not worried at all. And boom, I've been pretty consistent. The only option that I lost on is an earnings one. And that's why I'm not looking at them. And every other one of them has been money. So I love my little system I have. I will go over it. I've been talking about it, but I'll make that video so that everyone can tell what's going on and see it for their own eyes. And I'll actually upload all the other videos tonight. Feeling much better. I needed some rest. I think my brain was shut off. I forgot about the election last week and all that, and then a busy weekend. And yeah, yesterday my brain was like just done. So today, much better. A lot of trading, locking in profits. It was a beautiful day. I hope everyone had a great day as well. And like I said, that Yang looks like it wants to move tomorrow some more. So it was up today over like $8, and it looks like it wants to move up more tomorrow. There you go, laptop travel. So just like we wanted it to do, and just in perfect timing too. I mean, wow, them options are going to be when it hits it and gets in the money probably tomorrow. It it should be pretty nice because like I said, as they get closer to that expiration and they start getting in the money, they start really moving there. So definitely probably going to be some perfect timing right there. ABVE, this was up about 4 cents today above food ingredients, and I caught my eye because it looked like it was curling up. Looks like it wants to jump up over to 50 at like 56 cents and get moving. So keep an eye on that ABVE. I'm going to say it wants to move right there. So ABVE looking good. The other ones in the beginning were more momentum plays in the morning because they were all huge poppers. And obviously the Yang's looking good. And let's look at BJDX and see what that Blue Jay is doing. What is it? Blue Jay Diagnostics. And remember, I said the Blue Jay wanted to fly. I know it ran the other day on the 5th and that ran up to what? Let me see real quick. 24 cents and it's back to 10. It ran today a little bit. I know that. Let me see exactly where it ran. BJDX, let me see here. 9 cents to 14 and it's curling up. I'm telling you, BJDX, the Blue Jay wants to fly off that 22 or off that 50, I mean. It's bouncing off the 20 is what I was going to say, and then it wants to fly off that 50 and that is right around 12 cents. So it got over today. It got over 14 cents. So BJDX, another beauty. It should be running tomorrow. I would imagine it's going to be moving some more. It looks like it should be anyway. So check that out. ITRM, another one. We put it on the list and it immediately ran up on October 25th. It opened up 119 and ran up to like 232 or even higher that day. And they have earnings coming up, I believe, on the 14th, which is Thursday, and it's curling back up. Remember, I said it was making that base and wanted to run up more. I don't know if I want to play it on earnings, but it is looking good in the future. So we're going to keep an eye on ITRM. I'll watch it. It looks like it wants to run up tomorrow. And again, the earnings are Thursday, the 14th. So could be a potential play tomorrow because they've been running up right before the earnings. And then again, I just don't trust any of the earnings. Even going back and looking at them, I just can't tell what they're going to do. I can tell right before, right after. So we've discussed this and don't have to beat it. But I'm just saying I'm not going to be doing many earnings plays. That's all. And that's ITRM, and they will have their earnings on Thursday, but it is looking good to try to set up and run there. And I think they had some kind of medicine FDA approval happen back in October about urinary tract infections or something. So looking down. And there you are. That's that one. And we'll keep an eye on it because it looks like it could be a potential runner. Some more VCIG. This one split. And I think you're going to start to see it try to move now. It looked like that bottom was yesterday at 147. It's at 171 all of a sudden. So VCIG, keep an eye on this bad boy tomorrow because you know what they do after they split. I think it's going to get rolling post split right there. And excuse me, but it's about right the right timing, I think. And what day did it split? I forget. It was the November 5th. So it did split last Tuesday, and yeah, it took about a week to set up and pull back every day since knocking things over. But it looks like it's about set up now off of that reverse split there. So we'll keep an eye on it tomorrow and see if it wants to get rolling up there. And that's VCIG and TNXP. Let's see that one. Let's see real quick. And how about Elon Musk? They posted that thing about the Doge, the Department of whatever, and efficiency and government efficiency or whatever. It's so great. It's that guy is on another planet. Elon, he is just amazing. I'm telling you. And yeah, he's they're just gonna Department of Oversight. Is that what it was? I'm not looking at it, but I think that's what it was. Department of Oversight and Government Efficiency or something. And yeah, it's just crazy. I'm telling you, this country's gonna run like a well-oiled machine, like it really should, and it's gonna be amazing. But you can see why Doge was running like crazy, and it probably isn't gonna stop. And either is TNXP because they had earnings what today? They had them today. I don't know what the heck they did, but it looks really good to roll tomorrow. So keep your eye on this TNXP. At least it does on that FinViz, and it does on here. I would say TNXP is rolling tomorrow, guys. So keep an eye on that one as well, because that looks like it wants to run. There you go with TNXP GOVX. This one did run yesterday and then it ran up some more today. So you got a little more of a run up on it 2 days, which isn't, I mean, it wasn't very common before, that's for sure. And so now it's running like it should. It opened at 384 today, ran up to 424, and then pulled back to 291 right now. So it is pulling back, but it ran up. It ran up yesterday and some more today. It actually has gotten to the top. It could have possibly tried to run up a little more tomorrow. Keep an eye on that GOVX in the morning, guys, and just see. But it would be a momentum play. And did you see what SYRS did? I'm glad I got out of them options because holy cow, in the after hours, I don't know what they were up to. I told you there was something crazy going on with this company. So it dipped down to 273. It had just been in the $3 and I had sold my options. It was perfect. And because they were in the money fine, like really in the money the other day, Monday, yesterday. And then this thing today came crashing down like 85% down, $2.34, and now it's at 39 cents in the after hours. That's pretty wild right there. And I'll talk about I love options because if it didn't have that expiration date, I probably would be sitting there holding this stock right now. So what a difference between options and stocks. And yeah, I sold it because it was expiring and bam, thing just took a massive dip. And I don't know what the hell happened. Let me see if there says it today. SYR or Cyros or whatever announces top line data from select MDS one phase 3 trial of tambourine in higher risk something syndrome with I gotta open this thing up now because it just um I don't even know what it's talking about and some kind of melody plastic syndrome with rare gene expression overexpression. I have no idea, but I'm just trying to see what the heck happened. I don't even see anything. But anyway, I have no idea what the trial did or anything, but it clearly wasn't good because this thing went like total dip mode. So we're gonna look at this bad boy in the morning again. And remember, all them all the executives were buying it. Remember, this had all that insider buying back in September. So I don't know. I didn't see anything that they were selling it. We'll have to look because if not, they got toasted right now. And we made out like bandits because it's set up perfectly. It ran up and we all got out, I hope, and boom, it came crashing down like crazy. SYRS. And I think I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this bad boy now to see if it wants to bounce. So that's another one I'm going to keep my eye on for tomorrow. MAXN, this one's running up more. It did run up to like $13 area today. I know I saw it up there. Let me see. 13.57. It opened at 11.61 and it's at 11.80 and it still doesn't look that bad to be honest. It's just been creeping its way up to the top and I mean it it's just not hitting the top. It doesn't look bad. I'm just saying keep an eye on it because it has been running up, but that 20 and 50 are meeting now, and I'm telling you, it looks pretty good to me. So I could see it trying to run. It definitely got over. Remember, I told you it was going to get over its old high, which was 1266. Well, it definitely got it in the 13. So it could continue to move up. MAXN. I know XTX Confidential's on fire with these things, so remind us which one you told me to look at tonight. I'll look in the messages. I forget which one it is. I meant to mark it down because he has been on. He keeps asking me to look at ones, and they just keep popping off pretty immediately. So STX Confidential on fire, and just picking like one or two here and there, and they are popping off as soon as he asks about them. So he asked about one tonight, and we'll have to see what that one's up to. But he definitely asked about this MAXN, and it blasted off. And like I said, it potentially could run up tomorrow. So we'll watch it and see if it wants to run up more. And that is MAXN. WTO, this was running up yesterday and it didn't really do a whole lot today. It just kind of went flat. It dipped, if anything, but it opened at 39. It ran up to 40, came back down to 35. It's at 38, 37, right around 38, we'll say. And really didn't do much today. So it was just kind of hanging out there. And I think it's still trying to set up. So keep an eye on this thing because it has a lot of potential and that 20's right there. It was pushing it yesterday. It wasn't really today, but it's right at like 41 cents. All it needs to do is curl up a little bit. It looks like it wants to, and it's going to get fired up here and it's going to get up to like 55 cent area and possibly even higher. So just keep an eye on that WTO because it's going to be one of the ones that gets blasted off. EJH. This one did run up last week, and it actually ran up a little bit more yesterday. And today it's pulling back down to that 50 and curling down. We'll have to take a look at this one. I'm not sure if it's trying to set back up and just make a little room. Doesn't look terrible, let's put it that way. So, DBGI, is that what the one that you told me? All right, I'm looking at it here. I'll mark it down. STX. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you right there. So we'll look at that when I see where it's at. Right there. It's right across from me. Um, so EJH, perfect. Like I said, just pulling back. We'll see if it wants to bounce off of this. I'll look at that tomorrow and just take a look at it and see what it wants to do. That DXYZ, it was pulling back. And remember, I was saying, be careful up there. Let's try to catch it at a better price. I was fine with it running up yesterday. It is pulling back and it's coming out of the basement. And then I think I'm going to want to get it when it gets back down into this 20 or 16 area. We're going to see where it lands, but definitely keep an eye. It's coming out of that basement there, and it did pop right off when we started looking at it. So just I'd rather get it as it's pulled back and ready to go up next time. It started to move too quick, too much, and I wasn't going to chase it. So, but it is one way to get in the SpaceX, and it's the only way to get in there is this company right there. So there you go with DXYZ. We'll keep an eye and find the best spot to get into it. IXHL did pull back just a hair. It's still in the top, but I'll tell you what, it looks like it wants to bounce back up there tomorrow. Has that look like it almost tried to top out at that 312 today? But I'm not so sure it wanted to. Let me look at it on mine and see what it did in the after hours. IXHL. And yeah, I'm telling you, has that look like it wants to just kind of bounce up there one more time and just run. Maybe I'm crazy and it doesn't really want to. And today was definitely its top, but I'm gonna look at it tomorrow. Just keep an eye on it and see if it does. But again, it's up in the top. It ran up there, pulled back, and is bouncing. It just keeps bouncing back up. And it just looks like it could potentially do it again. So it's not a definite. So don't get caught chasing it. Make sure it has momentum. If it's moving, it's a quick bounce up. There you go for that one. That's what you'd be looking for. And that's IXHL OCGN. This one was down 5 cents. It did pop up a little bit the other day. And yesterday they had their earnings last week on the 8th. And it's just setting up, guys, because that 20 and 50 are going to meet up on OCGN, and it's going to be like money pretty soon. It's just kind of healthy pullback right there, it looks like. So even if it pulls back to like 96 cents again, it's at 102. Just watch it. It wants to set up and get moving, and that is OCGN. So just keep an eye on that one because it does want to try to set up, it looks like, and get moving. And I know it ran up the other day to 131 on November 8th, but it does look like it wants to run up probably higher than that, I would say. So keep an eye on OCGN. It will set up. And how about our friend Holo down 24 cents today? Just kind of building a base, though. It did cross through, little pullback. I mean, 24 cents was a lot of pullback, but it doesn't look that bad right there. Let me take a look on mine. And yeah, it doesn't look terrible, but I mean, it did run up the other day on what, November 1st, and it's just keeping that base to 20 is what, at 349. It's coming back down. So I'm not sure if you want to play it, but I said we'd play that one last bounce, and it did it on November 1st. And building the base, we'll see what it's up to. And that's good old Holo, and we called that one pretty on point. I mean, that was pretty textbook. HLVX, that Hillyvax, up a penny, and I'm telling you, this thing's getting set up to run too. It's been moving up, it's stair stepping up, and it looks like it wants to try to continue stair stepping up. It's just going slowly, but it's moving. Yeah, it's moving slowly. Opened at 194 up to 201. It's at 198. So yesterday it was 191 to 197. And like I said, it was just kind of slowly moving up there until it gets to the top. So just keep an eye on that. And we were looking at it the other day and it has moved up some, but it didn't go crazy. It's just kind of, like I said, slowly moving up. And we'll see if it wants to pop. GFAI, this one is getting ready. It's down 3 cents today, and it has that weird look. It's just pulling back. It's ready to do something. Let's put it that way. GFAI. So I think it's trying to get moving. It's right in that right spot right there. All it has to do is get around 114 and it can pop off. So just take a look at GFAI because it's gonna run. That's what we're the 20, the your what 50, your 20, your 50, and your hard line are all meeting right now at the same spot. And today has a crazy look, guys. So something crazy going on there. And I would definitely take a look at it tomorrow because there is something odd going on. I will definitely look at GFAI. Let me write it down at the top just so I remember. And I'm marking them down. I'll take a picture of this and tell you which ones I think look the best. We'll go through them again at the end of the night. Elab, let's look at that one. This one just pulled back a hair, but I'm telling you, it's setting up. It's curling up right there. I think tomorrow you'll start to see Elab try to move, I think. Um, I highly doubt it's going to bounce off that MACD and come back down. I can't imagine it doing it. And if it starts to curl up and then it comes out of the basement at the same time, like they're used to, it'll get moving right back from 1 cent to 6 cents. I mean, like between 1 and 2 cents it's at now, and it'll move back up to 6 cents, which will be a pretty huge run there. So that is ELAB, ELAB. And again, we said it yesterday and the other day on October 25th. Its high was an 18-cent range, and they're under 2 cents right now for ELAB. So take a look at it, and it's curling up right there and not looking bad at all. So I think it's going to try to get through. WINT was down 3 cents, and just kind of I still think the other day was its bottom on November 8th at 53 cents. It did get down to 55 cents, and that's where it's at now, 55 and a half. But I really think this one's going to try to base out and get moving as well. WINT. So just keep an eye on this one. I'll be watching it. Its 20's way up there, like 77 cents now because it pulled back so much, but it could easily make a base curl up and get cruising. Not saying it has to tomorrow, but it can be getting set up now. I think that was its bottom. I'll keep an eye on it and we'll see what it wants to do. And I just keep dropping everything. But anyway, here we go. WINT. That one I'll keep an eye on. LCID, that Lucid down 20 cents. It ran up yesterday when we thought it would. And this one crossed through and kind of just pulled back. It almost looks like healthy pullback, but I'm not exactly sure. LCID, let's see. Yeah, it kind of just looks like a little healthy pullback today. So I'll look at that one tomorrow as well. LCID. And it did run when we thought it would, but I thought it would try to move up a little bit more, to be honest. So I'll look at WINT and LCID tomorrow and see what they're up to. IOVA, let's see what that's up to because it was down today. I know that. I did see it pulling back, and we were saying, let's see if it just wants to dip. It had that little look where I couldn't tell what it wanted to do. It looked like yesterday it was trying to get back over to 20 and apparently not. So now we're just going to look for that best price on IOVA, and you know it's going to be a good runner. So it did take a nice dip there on what, November 8th, down to 931, and it didn't even get down that low today. So that still could be its low as it's pulling back and then bounce back up because it was set up to be bullish up there. And it ran up the other day, what, on November 7th? It was at 1251. So we're down in the nines, and we'll see if it can get set back up. And that's IOVA. And how about BSLK? That is Bolt Project Holdings. And this is just running that line down there. It ran up the other day. We know the bottom where that's at, November 6th at 28 and a half cents. And I'm telling you, this one wants to get popping off. So this one just has to get up onto the 20 at 41 cents. It's at 35. It's not too far of a jump for it at this point. And so yeah, this one could get cruising at any moment as well. So just watch it because if it starts curling up, it's probably going to want to run. And that's BSLK, that Bolt Project Holdings. GBR. Whoa, what did I type in? GBR, New Concept Energy. And this one's setting up nice. We looked at it yesterday. It ran up a little bit higher yesterday to 125. Today it's at 123 and its low is, or it opened at 121 and its low is 119. So at 123, setting up right there, GBR, and that is looking pretty good. New Concept Energy pulling back a little in the after hours on mine, but still, I think it's going to be looking pretty solid. I'll look at it tomorrow, but it is definitely setting up down the road. And it still looks like it wants to continue up. Has some resistance right there at 126, and then real hard resistance at 131. So it could jump between that channel, and we talked about that before, and it does look healthy down the road, but it is looking good to jump between that channel. HAO. This was down a penny today, and this one looks like it's trying to get set up off the bottom right there. HAO. Yeah, it's just right there on that bottom line. The 20 is trying to grab it too, and it looks like it wants to bounce off of there. I'd keep an eye on this tomorrow. These China penny stocks have been moving, why the yin and the yang are doing a different thing. Before, when the yin was going up, the big caps were. Now that it's going down, the small caps want to go up, so the penny ones, and that's kind of how our market runs as well. So some of these other ones, and look at that BTCT went crazy today. So look for some of these China ones to get a little wild. And I've explained this before, and I think you guys are getting a little taste of these things. They can just run off and go wild at any moment. It's just completely crazy what happens. They get pumped up out of their minds. But look at something like BTCT, and yeah, that thing was amazing today, to be honest with you. So again, you got to keep your eye on some of them because they can be real fast, but real crazy and really amazing at the same time. So that's HAO, and keep your eye on that because it could bounce. I'll look at it in the morning. And MLGO is another China one. It's just pulling back, but I'm telling you, it's trying to roll off there. So I'll keep an eye on this one as well, MLGO, and see if it wants to try to curl back up if I see when it does. And we'll get a better look at it. RGF. And yeah, if I see these China ones starting to curl up and move, I'll post it because you can see what they do. They go wild. RGF, this one, I'm telling you, has a wild look right here. I mean, it looks like it wants to run. It dipped down to 26, and it looks like a dip and rip situation. Keep an eye on that RGF tomorrow morning because that one looks pretty interesting right there with a dip and rip. I'm going to even write that dip and rip because that's what it looks like to me. Let me look on mine just to see exactly where the numbers were at. 30 to 31 its low was 27 because yeah, it looks like it wants to get curled up. It's right in the right spot and it looks like it wants to fire off tomorrow. So that is that RGF and ALLR. Let's look at that one. We looked at it yesterday. It was starting to curl up today. I didn't even post this one, but I know it was up and yeah, curling up. Remember we looked at it last night and I said, "Yeah, that one looks good." And here we go. It's about to get cruising. So keep your eyes on ALLR because that one's looking good right there to move. And how about edible EDBL? EDBL, Edible Garden. And this one came out of the basement. When was its earnings? I forget when they were. November 13th. Oh, what are they? Tomorrow? Or, yeah, what are they? Tomorrow. Yeah, confusing myself here. Today's definitely the 12th. So, yeah, they have earnings tomorrow. And it looks like it wants to pull back. It ran up right there, and that's why I was getting confused. I'm like, what does it want to do? Did it just have him? But they are tomorrow, and it looks like it wants to pull back. So I would imagine, since I think that it's going to bounce off that bottom and go wild. But I'm just saying that's the opposite of what I think, and that's generally what these earnings do because I have no idea. I can't get a good look on them for some reason. I got to practice my earnings looks and see if I can get better or just not trade them. But Edible EDBL has its earnings, has run up, and I can't really tell what the heck it wants to do. So I have no idea. I apologize, but them earnings just screw me up. Foxo, FOXO. We've been looking at this and saying it was going to keep running up higher, and it did today. It ran up higher than its high was. It ran up to 130 today. It's back to 94. It did exactly what we thought it would do today. I never even posted it, but yeah, we were all over this thing the whole entire time too, and it ran from 76 to 130. So we had it on the list to run yesterday and the day and last week, and it's been doing it. So just another one we were super early. We're early on. I think we saw it on the scanner as it was popping up that first day, but yeah, it got moving, and like I said last night, you could tell it was curling back up the run and we discussed that. So that is FOXO, and it has been moving. What's it going to do? That's the question because it's way up there. And honestly, it looks like it wants to try to run up a little higher tomorrow. So keep an eye on that in the morning. And I don't even know as the web bowl been that crazy at 4 a.m. because it looks like these things have shifted back to where like they should be kind of getting back to normal. And it seems like they're popping off during the day now, like they should be. So that would be wild if that whole web bull phenomenon uh kind of fizzles out a little bit at 4 a.m. I'm sure you'll still see some poppers, but it doesn't seem like they're getting as crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but laptop travel and you guys that do trade them, let me know if it has been as crazy as it was for that, like, why the market was just kind of weird and they were crazy at 4 a.m. I mean, you couldn't hit a you couldn't hit one of these penny ones unless you were hitting it at 4 a.m. And now you're seeing them all run during the market like it's curling up and looking normal. And remember them 2, 3 weeks I said the charts were trying to shift. It was a transition, and you can see it. It happened. So. And that was before the election as well. And I kept saying they look like they're trying to transition already for to know what they're going to do. I mean, I exactly said what was going to happen for months. I mean, it was as clear as day on the stock charts. That's why it's amazing to me that it was a surprise to anybody that it wasn't the biggest landslide because there was never one day that it looked any different. So. I've said that a million times. But anyway, that's SUGP. And this one is running in the top. And we looked at this yesterday, and SUGP could be a more of a momentum play tomorrow. It's run up the last few days. And like I said, it is in the top, but I would assume could get a little run up. And before what I was thinking when I was looking at it as this would be one of them ones that would run up at 4 a.m. if it had anything left in it, and you would never see it again at 7 a.m. But they seem like they're trying to still run up during the day. So I'll have to keep an eye and see what they're up to like that, because obviously we get on at 7 a.m. and monitor the market. So I'll look at a few of them that I will have an idea, and I'm sure Laptop Travel will probably tell us as well, and a few other people, so we'll know. But yeah, it looks like the market's trying to get a little back to normal, which is very, very nice. CNSP, that's why you're just seeing these things run like they are. CNSP, just a little flat, nothing bad. We were looking at it, it was curling up. And what 14 to 15, it's low as 12, closed at 13, and doesn't look bad at all. So keep your eye on this one. It could keep going. I'll look at it in the morning and just see what it wants to do. But yeah, I mean, it's not looking terrible right there. PTPI, Petros Pharmaceuticals, down a penny, and it's hitting that bottom down there. And this is what I wanted to see if that's a bottom. It could be. So it could be a bounce play right there for PTPI. So just keep an eye if that's the bottom. And we'll look at it tomorrow just to see if it wants to pull back just a little bit more, but it could be down there. And I'll tell you what, that should be a pretty good bounce play. Um, Unless it's going to get into the basement. So that's all I wanted to make sure. MIRA. Oh, this one's setting up. It's down 11 cents because it ran up to the top up there, but let it pull back up here. It's crossing through. Let it come back to like the 120s, probably even the 135s, and we'll reevaluate it. But MIRA, just let it set up, and then yeah, it's gonna set up pretty nice actually. Let it come back to that bottom right there, and it'll be good. It did run up pretty nice, and it'll pull back real good, and then it'll run up great. So. It will set up to be amazing, MIRA. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that a little longer term. And there we go with that side. Let me see if anybody was posting anything here. I wasn't even looking at it. Dogecoin wants to fly, you know it. I mean, it's insane right now. So especially when they start posting out that he's doing the Department of whatever and it spells out Doge. That's the greatest. The guy's amazing. XTIA will definitely go there. XTIA. Let me just take a look at that, and we won't even have to look at it later. It's on the list. Just pulling back a hair, aerospace and defense curled through, and it did run up. I remember we were looking at it. What day did it run up there? November 7th. I remember we were looking at it the other week. And let's just see. It's just pulled back a little bit. Nothing too crazy right there. Your 20's up here at like 7 cents. This is at 4. It's not showing me that it wants to exactly bounce tomorrow, but I'll definitely take a look at that XTIA. And again, it is on the list, so I'll definitely look at that bad boy. AZI. Oh, AZI. Let's see what that's up to right here. Down 52 cents. This one looks like it's going to come out of the base or out of the basement, out of the top. Definitely not out of the basement. It was in the basement back here on like October 29th, and now it's in the top and it looks like it's coming down. So got to be careful with AZI. It's not one that I would necessarily chase right there, Harris. Let's see. Let's see, XTAI. Like I said, we'll watch that one. NXTT. Let's take a look at that one. The Pink Wolf. NXTT. Next Technology up 88 cents in the top, down 31. Let me just see because that one ran up really nice today and opened at 115 up to 249 at 157. And yeah, it got up to the top. just again t tomorrow, that would be more of a momentum play right there. NXTT. If it's moving up higher than like past that 203 where it closed, if it can bounce back up and start really moving, get back towards that 249, it's a momentum play. It'll want to run up there in the top, but it will come back down. GOVX we did, and right, yeah, and SBET. SharpLink Gaming. This one ran up the other day. I remember we looked at it for something, but it opened at 63, ran up to 109 on November 8th, and it was trying to curl up, pulling back a hair, has that look like it doesn't know what it wants to do, but it wants to do something. So I'll keep my eye on SBET. I'm going to jot that one down real quick. SBET. And I'll keep an eye on that bad boy so we can see what that's up to right there. And we'll definitely look at that. SYRS failed to meet endpoint goal, and that's why it went way down there. So we'll have to look and see if the executives actually kept all them shares because they bought quite a bit, and I guess they were banking on that thing doing well. We knew it was going to do something crazy. I ran it up, and boom, that's why you run up and take the profits because you just never know when something like that's going to happen, and it's always risk and reward, and that's what we talk about. You just gotta, play it the smart way and probability and risk. And what's the probability it's going to go higher after it just ran up that significantly and it's hitting the top? When it hits the top, I tend to like to get out of it. Sometimes they run up higher. It is what it is. And sometimes they do that. And then you're really happy when you made that choice. So if you can stay consistent and just sell them when they're up there, you'll do perfectly fine. And of course, some are going to run higher. Sometimes you'll know it and you'll catch them a little higher. And sometimes you're going to sell them and they run a little higher and you can't beat yourself up. It is what it is. You saw that look. You made your choice and you run with it. And that's what you have to do. So, and then you have to be happy with them choices as well, even if it runs up through the roof and goes 1,000 more percent. And you all know what happened to FFIE. I sold most of my position at 2,000%, not even thinking it could even get that high. And then it went to 8,000, over 8,000%. So not only did it run, it ran another 6,000% higher than where I sold it. So kind of insane. I still had a little bit of my a couple shares there, but not my entire not exactly what I had bought because I scaled out and you live with it and it is what it is. At least you had some action in the game and it was fun and you make something. So that's the way the market works, and you're not going to be 100% ever, and no one ever will. So there you go. And SYRS, that's why that went crashing down. And thank you for that info there, Money. I greatly appreciate it. And let me see. Here we go. Um, let's see. Octo real quick. Let's look at that one and we'll fly through the rest of these bad boys and see what's going on here. Eight co holdings, Octo down 4 cents, and it's just kind of pulling back there. Did you say they had earnings? OCTO earnings should be. I don't see that it said earnings, but I'm not saying it doesn't have them, but it doesn't say it on here on the FinViz. It usually does. I can look on the stock twits because it'll also tell me all of them, but we'll look. Doesn't even say anything about earnings anywhere actually, so I'm not sure why. So it very well could be tomorrow. It doesn't look like it's telling me any of them on here, but it was trying to curl up there, just pulling back. And if it does have earnings, it looks like it's bullish, but I really would have no idea if it wanted to go up or down tomorrow. It's just setting up. I know that. So I would say OCTO is setting up, and I would take a look at that one tomorrow. So there you go, Braden. And like I said, I'm not exactly sure if earnings are tomorrow. It's not telling me. And how about RZLV? RZLV. Let's look at it right here. Coming off that bottom, crossing through. Looks like it's got momentum down 3 cents, up 12. It's in the after hours. RZLV. And I think this one is going to be a try to get moving. 467 came down to 367, and then it closed at 440 somehow. I have no idea how. And and then somehow it wants to try to keep that momentum going. This one's an interesting one, Jennifer Lee. I don't even know how you even found that one, but it's definitely interesting, and it does have a lot of stuff going on. And I could see it trying to crawl up. I mean, if it jumps up, it wants to get up to that 490 area. And again, it's at like 440 in the after hours. And if it could get there, it could really start to pop off. And it looks pretty interesting, like it wants to. It almost looks like that dip and rip look, guys. So keep your eye on that. I got to write that one down and take a look at that tomorrow. RZLV. And Jennifer Lee's she has an eye for them that are gonna run, so it looks like it wants to. I'm telling you. DNA, Ginkgo Bioworks. We had looked at this back in the day. I remember this one. They had earnings on today, and it did dip, and it looked really good. Again, another one. I'm just looking at it like, well, I would have thought it went up, and there it went dipping down on the earnings, and there, I don't know why, but it did. They look pretty good to me from what it all looks green. I don't know. I'm not looking at the numbers hardcore, but it doesn't look terrible. And I could see this one bouncing right back up. So again, them earnings are just weird. And yeah, this one, DNA. Hold on. What the heck? November 12th. Where's it at? Yeah, it is in the eights. Okay. That's because it reversed. Well, I was even looking at the price, but yeah, here we go. 869 to 1010, and it closed at 935, and it looks pretty solid right there. So I would take a look at that Ginkgo DNA, Ginkgo Bioworks. Another one looks pretty decent right there, Jennifer Lee. So there you go with them bad boys. And let's see. Let's just see. AZI was a battleground. A guy named Joker was pumping it up, and another guy shorted it. That's pretty funny. That's what did I just looked at it, right? AZI. I don't even know. Probably looked at it 3 seconds ago. Let's look at it. This one was way up at the top, and it's fairly new too, so I don't really like to mess with them this new. It opened August 28th, but yeah, it did. I mean, it was a nice pop up out of the bottom right there on October 29th. It ran all the way up to 292 yesterday, and then today it got up to 310 and just got shorted down, like you said. And it looks like it's going to come down. So if you're in the short, and it does look like AZI is going to come back down. So there you go with that one. And let's get cruising through the rest of this list and check out everything else that we have going on. Here we go. And that just rolled through some of the messages. And let's look at Roku real quick. It's down 50 cents, but it's looking pretty good, guys. It's setting up right there. Is it going to pull back right here to that 74? It could, but that 20 and 50 are meeting up to take it up. So Roku is setting up. Just look for any pullback on it. And but it is looking pretty solid to try to move fairly soon. And that is Roku. I would say that one's getting set up right there. MEXX. This was that Mexican something, the bull share thing, their ETF or whatever. Let's see. I wanted to look at it today. I honestly forgot to look at it today, and it was down 65 cents. I think it's going to come down to this bottom in the 1020s and then get set up and get bouncing. So that's what I'm going to look for on this ETF, and it'll be way down there, and that's exactly where you want it because then it can run back up easily past the 12s into the like the 13. So we'll keep an eye on MEXX and see what the MEX ETF wants to do. QLGN, this was down 36 cents today. It had split recently. We're watching it, one for 50, and it was setting up. It was trying to curl up, and today it just pulled back. I'm not sure if today's going to be its bottom. It very well could be. And what did I just do? QLGN. Yeah, I haven't even used the stock charts in a while. I just kind of picked it up right there and said, what did I just do? But yeah, didn't even really need it right there. And again, this thing just pulling back, and I'll see if it's that bottom tomorrow. I'll be able to tell. and that is QLGN. So again, another one I'll just keep an eye on it. It's good pullback there, and we'll find it as it wants to curl up off of that split, and you know it will be running. So QLGN, we'll keep an eye on that. TWG, that Top Wealth Group, this one had run up like big time, and it's doing that old fish hook, but it's just dipping down. Oh, today it took a nice dip, huh? Remember I said and they all do it. As they crawl up, they'll run around and generally they dip down, lower than the day before. Well, this one took a big old dip because it opened at 39 and came down to like 32, but that's a pretty good dip right there for TWG. So we'll definitely watch this one because that could be a nice dip and rip situation. Watch for that bounce play right there, TWG. I'll keep an eye on that one right there. And let's look at FUFU, FUFU. That's what you say when you're mad at the stock market. Bit FUFU, that's what you tell it. It's a capital markets in Singapore, and it's looking pretty good to get into the top right there. Has some resistance right there at $6. It's at 580, but it gets through that, it's going to go foo crazy. So just take a look at it tomorrow. And like I said, it has to get over that $6. It looks like it wants to get that momentum rolling and get in there. That's what it looks like to me. It looks pretty good on both charts to try to do it. So take a look at Fufu. It looks like it has momentum right there. And it can run up into the top. DG, let's take a look at the old Dollar General. That's at $75. It was down $1 today, hitting that bottom down there. They have earnings way out on December 5th, so we're not worrying about that. And today looks like it's going to be its bottom, guys. It curled through just a hair. I could see the Dollar General bouncing back, and it's way down there. So let me look at this tomorrow because this could be a really good one. Um, it was in the summertime, it was in the 100 range. It's been down in like the 70 area and 80 area for a little while since September. It had a nice dip on August 28th, and then it dipped down August 29th. So it dipped down them days on an earnings and has stayed down here, but it looks like it could be a decent opportunity. I know they haven't been doing that great, but it looks like it could try to bounce, and that's what we look for. So we'll keep an eye on that Dollar General as well. DG, I'll watch it. MVST, Microvast Holdings, down a penny. Um, Up 11 cents in the after hours. I think they had earnings, what, today? And I don't know what they did. It just looks gray. So I'm not even sure what that even means. But let me see if it says something. Today, Microvast reports its third quarter. So it did say it did it at 5 o'clock. So I have no idea what it even did. But let's look at the chart because it looked like it wanted to go up and now it's pulling back. So I will take a look at Mayan and see what it's gonna do here. MVST. Oh wait, this thing like ran through the roof in the after hours. It looks like I in 19 to 35. So yeah, maybe it did run up. I can't even tell. FinViz doesn't have it. It just has it sitting here. Oh, it does say 30 cents in the after hour. So it ran up 11 cents there. And this one says it ran up to 34. So yeah, I'd say MVST did run in the after hours. It was didn't know what the heck it was doing there, but it did run. So watch it in the morning if it wants to continue. But it already did pop up there in the after hours. CETX. Let's see this one. That was one we were looking at. It has stayed in the basement here, and it just keeps that old look that we have, and where it's in the basement, and the MACD keeps crossing through and keeps running, and that 20's way up on it at 27. It's not that far though. And this is at 19. It opened and closed right around the same price, it looks like. Yep, right there. And let me see on mine what CETX wants to do here. It's not looking terrible, to be honest with you. I think this was its bottom on November 6th, and that was an 18-cent range. So it's pretty close to its bottom, and it's making a base. I could see it trying to yeah, and it's not going to split again. It just split October 3rd. So, and never even really ran, did it? Not really. So, I would expect it to get set up in the next. week or so, 2 weeks. Keep an eye on it, but it does look like it has potential, that CETX, and we'll have to watch it again. So I'll keep an eye on that bad boy. And here's our DBGI digital brand groups. And this one is STX Confidentials. And I remember it ran up pretty big October 22nd, went from like 20 to 42. And I do have this on my watch list on stock to it. So I do see this one pretty off all the time. And yeah, it's rolling up there. STX Confidential. I think you might be on fire right now. DBGI. And it looks like it's very promising tomorrow, guys. So I am going to put an asterisk next to it, and we're going to say that let STX Confidential have his own pick each day now because he is on fire lately. Again, just one or two and just rocks them. He had MAXN. I'm telling you, I'll look back and see. He'll send them over to me. And yeah, he's been just nailing them, and it's just one at a time. Boom, 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 very selective, and I like it. So I would have watched this to try to run up tomorrow, get into that 16 cent area. It's at 12 and a half, and it could even get over that. So watch this bad boy to start moving. And it went from 11 to 14 and it closed at 14. So it already started to move, actually. I wasn't even looking at the price. So it already went up 2 cents. So yeah, you know it's getting to that 16 tomorrow. And there you go. STX Confidential, that DBGI, I think is another solid one. We just looked at that OCTO, and I told you I'm gonna have to look at that bad boy because I'm not sure what the heck that was up to. Hold on, let me look at it again real quick just to get a good memory. Yeah, it was just sitting right there. And like I said, it could be its bottom down here at 190, but we went over it a little bit ago, so I won't go over it one more time. XTIA, we did go over. XPON, let me look at that one. Just pulling back, that could be a bottom look too. That's a nice pullback right there on XPON. It was trying to set up last week on the 7th, I remember, and now it's just right there touching the line. It could try to roll off of there and get moving, and that could be the bottom. I'll have to take a look at XPON tomorrow, so let me take a look at that. ICCT, what is that up to? ICCT, Core Connect. And that's, oh, this one could be really good. And another one that could be a dip and rip situation today. So we're looking for these dip and rips because I think they're starting to happen. And that's kind of normal to be honest. So that's what I always looked for. But now, you know, in the last 3.5 years, you had to look for all kinds of different stuff. And again, I'm trying to readjust my eyes to what a normal chart even looks like in my brain. So because it's hasn't remembered. And of course, I had to suffer a brain injury when we had like the worst stock charts ever. So I got to remember what the hell they even did before. But my brain will definitely remember. At least I'll try to, and we'll know. I know what they do. But yeah, this one's trying to cross through and bounce off, and it looks good right there. Has that look? I would definitely be taking a look at ICCT in the morning and looking at that to try to cross through and run. So let me put a mark next to that one because that looks good. MRNS. Let's look at that one real quick. Here we go. Oh, this one's crossing on or curling up really nice. Let me see. MRNS. Oh yeah, keep an eye on this bad boy too. They just had earnings on today. So there you go. I'm not sure what it's going to do. It's at 34. It opened at 34. It ran up to 36. It closed at 34, but it looks pretty good. It's hitting that line. I think it's going to cross through. It looks pretty good to me. Um, MRNS, yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Clue, CLEU. This is a China liberal education company holdings. And let's see, because this one can bounce off at any moment and get a little wild. And this one has that look. I mean, I know it's basically opened and closed around the same price, but it does have that look like it wants to bounce off that bottom right there. CLEU. Yeah, look at this. This thing's gonna run tomorrow, guys. You can see it already. Um, Opened at 23. Its high was 23, got to 21. And CLEU, I think, looks really good for tomorrow. So keep your eye on that one too. CLEU, China Liberal Education Holdings. So we'll watch that one to try to bounce up and run. BSFC, Blue Star Food Corp is down 2 cents today. And just hitting that bottom, it's crossed through. And let me just see if it wants to bounce off of there. BSFC. It looks pretty good to try to run, guys. I mean, just keep an eye on it. It's setting up. I think it's trying to bounce off that bottom. I'll watch it. Let me see. Did I put anything for a little bounce? Yeah. Watch that. Watch a bounce right there. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that one and just see what it wants to do tomorrow. Um, and just see if it's trying to bounce off that bottom because it is trying to cross through and do something right there. So we'll see when it wants to do it. BSFC. Let's look at NDRA. NDRA, here we go. Just kind of, oh, this one might try to roll off and get wild, guys. I know it popped up there on the split the other day, and I think this one's going to try to do it. I'll definitely look at NDRA in the morning. I think it's going to do it. Um, it's right there, and it looks like it wants to keep an eye on this one. NDRA to try to roll off of that because I think it's trying to roll right off of there. NDRA. So I'm going to watch that tomorrow as well. ACON. But yeah, if you see it trying to move tomorrow, you know it's trying to roll off that NDRA, and that could get moving. ACON, let's see this one. That one's just kind of making a base dip down pretty good down there. Has all kinds of craziness going on right there. ACON, nice dip today, 19 to 17. Let me look at it tomorrow. It looks like it's still trying to pull back some to me. So we'll take a look at that one and see where it wants to pull back to. And that's ACON. Yeah, it looks like it wants to dip a little more. DRMA, that Dermata Thermos Therapeutics, Dermata Therapeutics. I know it popped up and we were looking at it. It ran the 1 day or 2 days. It has earnings coming up on the 14th, which are Thursday, and it's pulling back. And yeah, I don't know what it wants to do there. Maybe bounce off on the earnings, but I can't tell. So we might have to look at that one. Probably after the earnings, probably like Friday or something. I'd be able to tell for DRMA. So there's that one. And HUT, this one's all the way up at $23. And I posted before I was trading this one way down there. And it ran up with crypto. It's going to be one of them ones that runs. And it has earnings tomorrow on the 13th. And it's in the top. So be very careful with HUT. I can't tell. If anything, I would say it's going to pull back. So, it's probably going to bounce up more. But be careful. Earnings. And it's all the way in the top there. So, if you ran it up, I would be locking in some profits because it ran up quite a bit right there. HUT and KOLD cold. Uh it's up 49 cents. It's at like $71 right there. Has that weird look the last 2 days as it's just pulling back. And I know we were looking at Boyle as well. So hold on, let me look at this. KOLD is just pulling back a little flat. I'm not sure it's ready yet. And this is the short natural gas. Let's look at Boyle because I think this is the ProShares Ultra. Yeah, this is ProShares Ultra Bloomberg Natural Gas. And this one has a weird look for 2 days. And it recently split, but it looks like it wants to get up over that 42 and try to run. So it looks like Boyle wants to run up and the cold wants to come back down. So that's what it looks like at the moment. I have to look at them again tomorrow. But that's just what it looks like right now. Cold does look kind of bullish over time. Let me see what the Boyle looks like over time. And Boyle just looks kind of honestly bearish, but wants to pop off real quick. So it doesn't look great long term, but it looks like it wants to run. So That's what they look like, boil and cold. So there you go with them bad boys. CGC is Canopy Growth, the cannabis company, down 10 cents. And let's see, these things are just pulling back there. They had earnings on the 8th, and that was last Friday. They don't look like they were that great. And it is just pulling back there. I think it's making a base down here at the bottom, CGC. So we'll see what it wants to do. It could be trying to curl back up now. Let's look at that MSOS and see what that's up to. The advisor shares pure US cannabis ETF, because I did see that today and it looks like it's popping off the bottom. It looks like that bottom was at $4 and it just bounced right. It went its low as four. It opened at 407. Its low is 405 and it's at 479. And it looks like it wants to start cruising all of a sudden. So I'm not sure what happened. If Trump said that he's gonna like legalize cannabis, I could you imagine he does that too on top of everything else? Everybody will love it. So who the hell knows what he's up to with that? But I'll tell you what, MSOS, it looks pretty good. I'll look at YOLO because that's another pure cannabis ETF, and it's looking the same, bouncing off that bottom right there. And that bottom was today at 245 on YOLO. So I may be looking at them cannabis ETFs tomorrow. You know that for some a couple option plays. So I'll be checking things out with them bad boys and keep an eye on the cannabis sector. GRE, let's look at that. Gree. Let's see what that is up to. Greenidge Generation Holdings, because it is running up there, curling up, looking decent. Today it ran up from 259 to 309, pulled back down to what, 259 it's at about. GR GREE. I mean, it doesn't look too bad, but it just looks like it ran up and it looks like it's going to end up being between that channel of 279 and 230 just for like maybe this week while it's setting up and then it's going to run. So that's what it looks like to me. And so you have a little setup period, but it will bounce around, obviously. And that's GREE right there. What else? CAN can. This one was running the other day. Yesterday, actually, it ran up there 144 to 180, and then it ran up even higher today, 170 to 188. It's at 165 CAN, and we had it on the list. I remember looking at it, and yeah, it's just kind of pulling back now, but it definitely ran up higher today. And this one's still setting up bullish. I could see it pulling back to try to run up higher in a week or two. So you can keep your eye on CAN and SAIH. This one is up 20 cents, and I know we were looking at this, and it's this guy could be a momentum play in the morning, guys. It's looking really good. Just got into the top with that momentum, SAIH. And yeah, I would say this one's a momentum play, and it's going to run up there tomorrow. Can't see where it's at, but there it is. Yeah, I would say that's looking decent for tomorrow morning, guys. SAIH, and should try to continue to run up some in that top area. So LUNR, we said it was going to go lunar the other day, and it did it, and now it's just pulling back. When are their earnings? Their earnings are on the 14th, which are Thursday, so I would be careful. It's pulling back. Wait for it to come back into the nines and it'll be great to set up again. But we called that. I literally said it was going to go lunar, and the next day it popped up. So that one we were on top of. CYN, let's see this one. It was moving today. I saw some chatter about it. I looked at it and it was moving. It's in the top and it ran up the other day. It ran up from what 560 to 582, and today it's at 504 to 563 and gotten to the top. I think you are going to see it run up some more tomorrow as a momentum play. So I think you can keep your eye on that for some momentum in the morning as well. CYN. So keep your eye on that bad boy. And there's a lot of room that it could run if it really wanted to pop up there. So watch that one in the morning. TRNR. Well, let me write it in right. TRNR, interactive strength. And that was up 37 cents. It had pulled back. It looked like yesterday was its bottom. So they're having that dip and rip, guys. And this opened at 526, got down to 405 yesterday. And then today, 451 to 574. Its low is 417 and it's at 5:35 in the after hour. So it looks like it's going to roll off. TRNR looks great for tomorrow. I'd expect it to try to run and get moving there. So we looked at that one a couple weeks ago, and it ran up a little bit. Just ran up, I think, last week, didn't it? On November 7th. And what did it get up to? It went, remember, it went 11.99 to 19.80. It could get moving and get back up over that 18 or even that 19 again. So we'll watch TRNR and keep an eye on it. And is it even the right charts? I mean, November 12th, and yeah, it's definitely the right charts. They look all crazy. So yeah, it definitely ran up and pulled back because it's at the $4, $5 range right now, and it could get cruising again. So we'll keep an eye on that interactive strength. And let's look at Buru, Buru, Nubaru. And this one is trying to crawl up there. I would say it's setting up and it's almost ready. So Buru is setting up right there. It's over the MACD, a little healthy pullback, but I think it's trying to set up, make a base, and get moving pretty soon. So keep an eye on that for a little setup right there. I think we looked at RGF already, and I put it on there twice, probably real good foods. Yeah, I know for a fact just from looking at that chart. That one's at dip and rip, and we're keeping an eye on that one tomorrow for sure. RGF. Actually, it's crazy. I wrote it. It's right next to it, just one lower on the left. So, and I have it marked up for dip and rip. I even wrote dip and rip next to it. So there you go. Um, RGF, I already did. FAMI, let's look at that one. That's a China stock that could get moving at any moment. Um, Let's see, FAMI. I remember did run up on October 23rd, but it wasn't anything real crazy. And now it's just kind of making a base and trying to set up there. FAMI. Yeah, it just looks like it's trying to set up here. It doesn't look like anything crazy for tomorrow, at least not to me anyway. So I'll keep an eye on it. And that's FAMI NXU. Oh, let me write that in right. NXU, that's a US company, electrical equipment. And this one I remember ran up like a maniac not long ago in the middle of October, the 24th, because the 23rd it closed at like 25 cents and then it opened up at like 74. I remember that. It was on our watch list. We were watching it, and now it's just pulled back. Looks a little crazy between the 20 and the 50. Let me take a look at this NXU. It's not really trying to crawl up anything hard. If anything, it's going to trade between that 43 and that 32 just for a hair, and we'll see if it can get set back up there. So we'll keep an eye on NXU, but it doesn't look like anything too crazy at the moment. But it could turn around. GMM, now this one looks like it could be a dip and rip situation. Now, I'd be definitely taking a look at this in the morning. GMM, because that looks like it's probably going to want to dip and rip. So watch for a bounce for that in the morning. GMM, because that could very well do it. TOVX, this one popped up the other day. And let's see what it wants to do here. TOVX is just pulling back. When was their earnings? Today on the 12th. So they did have earnings and a pullback. So let's watch it pull back to that line and set back up. And I'm just going to look at it again real quick to see if I could tell what it was going to do. Um, Yesterday, I might have thought it was going to pull back on them, but still, I wouldn't play that earnings because they just confused the hell out of me. But that's TOVX. And again, let it hit that bottom. We'll see when it hits the MACD line down here. If it wants to bounce or off the bottom, we'll see how it wants to get set up. And that is TOVX. I'll do our laptop ones real quick. cruise through them bad boys. We'll hit crypto, we'll hit our big caps, and I'll go through and see if else wants me to see anything. And we'll be cruising for tomorrow. And I'm sure I'll go through the scanners and we'll pick out the 100%ers. I have everything marked up and I'll let you know. And I want to get all the videos uploaded and caught up so that even tonight. So I want to get that agenda done tonight and just trying to catch up on things. I'm telling you, I think last week with the election and everything, and then crypto booming and trading nonstop, I was just wiped out. But definitely feeling great today, especially after a lot of big poppers. And I mean, I've been hitting them since last week, but I was just completely out of it yesterday. I don't know, but I'm in it today, that's for sure. And we're cruising right along here. So TOVX, like I said. Nice pullback. Let's look for that bounce and let's look at AEMD here. And let's look at it. They have some earnings coming up, it looks like, on the 13th, which is tomorrow. And I mean, it's setting up. Let it pull back. I would say it wants to bounce down on the earnings, and then we're going to attack this bad boy right after it. So keep our eye on that. Laptop travel, we'll keep that on that list because that one's going to be a really good one after the earnings. AST, Space Mobile, ASTS. And this one is going to be setting up really nice. Try to catch it down here at like the 22 area. It's at 24.95 in the after hours. It is trying to curl up. And again, this one has earnings on the 14th, which are Thursday. So they're coming up and it is setting up really good. I wouldn't mess with it until after them, but it is trying to curl up. And obviously, I don't know what the heck it's going to do. So we would mess with that right after. BENF. This one's curling up. This one's going to run tomorrow. I remember we looked at it yesterday and said it was looking good. It ran a little 127 to 131, but BENF looking solid. I would take a look at that for tomorrow because that looks like it wants to get moving some more. I don't know if it's going to go through the roof, but it could have some good, it could be moving. Its volume's over 100,000, 164,000. If it gets over that 135 area, it could get cruising there. So BENF looking good. BFRI, Biofrontera Inc. ran the other day or a couple weeks ago, actually October 30th. And now they have earnings coming up. Let me see when they are. They are the 13th as well tomorrow, but it looks really solid. To run up. So if you do like to play earnings, check out BFRI. I don't particularly like them, but I would say this one wants to get moving. BFRI looks really good right there. So I can't say that it doesn't even with the earnings tomorrow. Bond, BON, let's look at that. Bond Natural Life. And that one is curled up and trying to move off that 20 right there, setting up. I would say this is setting up to try to move some more BON. So yeah, keep an eye on that bad boy because it doesn't look bad and has a little resistance right here at 161. You're at 149. So keep an eye on that. And BRLT. Brilliant Earth Group. How brilliant are they? Let's see, because it looks pretty good. It's trading between that channel and not looking bad right there. So BRLT, let me see what it's up to on mine. And yeah, it's looking really good. I think they're brilliant and they have something earthy going on because today it says Brilliant Earth opens first ever street level location. I don't even know what they're talking about. Brilliant Earth opens new Manhattan showroom and Brilliant Earth unveils new showroom in New York City's. So I don't know what the heck they even do. Oh, it's luxury goods and it's looking good, guys. So keep an eye on Brilliant. It's looking pretty good for tomorrow. I think it wants to pop up some more. And it had some good news. They're opening up some stores in New York City. I don't know who the heck would want to be doing that right now, but apparently Brilliant thought it was brilliant to open up. Maybe they're not so brilliant opening stores in New York City right at the moment. I'd probably wait a few months until they clean that mess up and then I'd open up a store, but maybe they want to get there before. I'm not sure, but that's how I look at it. Anyway, CETY, Clean Energy Technologies, ran up yesterday, pulled back a little bit. It was trying to get into the top, and it did run up big time yesterday from what, $1 to $1.27. Today, 83 to 92. and it looks like it's going to try to pull back. So CETY looks like it could pull back. CNET, CNET. Now this one is trying to make a base down here, and I think this one's trying to set up to get running soon. I know we looked at it not long ago, probably a week or so ago. A little healthy pullback. It's been trying to move up slowly but steadily. And November 8th was its bottom at 160 or at 193 right here. And like I said, I think it's just trying to trade in between the channel of 217 and somewhere's in this 192 where it's at. So we'll keep an eye on CNET and see if it wants to get cruising. COSM, Cosmos Health. Oh, this one's looking really good, guys. This one looks good. COSM. So I would keep an eye on that tomorrow because that one looks really solid. COSM, FRSX. Let's look at that one real quick. Let me see what they're up to. FRSX. FRSX. Foresight Anonymous Holdings. Let's see. That one's trying to cross through. It had a nice little pop up today from 65 to 69, but it's in that channel and right there. I mean, it's not looking too bad. Oh, I'm already on it. Yeah, it's not looking bad. I can't say that it looks bad. It could run tomorrow. I just can't really tell, but just watch and see if it pulls back any, but it's not looking bad right there. FRSX. I'd look at that tomorrow and try to see what it's going to do. GIFT, GIFT. I know this one ran up right when we were talking. Looks like a little healthy pullback right there. Nothing too crazy. So yeah, you can keep an eye on this, but it did run up the other day, right when we were talking about it, November 8th. So we did catch that one, and it could be setting up some for some more. Hoth, HOTH, that was up 1%. It is setting up to be bullish there. It looks like it could be trying to crawl up, as a matter of fact. So HOTH, let me take a look at this bad boy. HOTH. It could be pulling back. I'll have to look at this tomorrow. It's giving me like a mixed look. I could tell immediately. Just has that weird thing at the top there, and I'm not sure exactly what it wants to do. It looks like it wants to try to run to me, but I'm not exactly positive. HSDT. I know we looked at Helios Medical Technologies. It's just a little bit flat right there. And again, another one looks like it's trying to set up. Can't exactly tell, but it doesn't look too bad, like a little pullback or setup action. So I'd have to look at that one as well. MSS, let's look at this one because that one looks pretty good right there. That's trying to make a base and curl up and run. I would look at that in the morning. MSS, take a look at that one. That one should try to get moving a little bit. MSS. How about NVNI? Let's look at that one. NVNI. Here we go. Nice dip yesterday, and it looks like it's trying to bounce back right there. NVNI. Let's see. I look at that tomorrow. See if it wants to roll off, it's going to be a beauty. So we'll take a look, and I think it might want to. So some Brazilian application, software application, and that very well could try to move, roll off NVNI. I'll look at it. NXPL. Next plat. Oh, this one looks great, guys. This one should be moving tomorrow. NXPL. Keep an eye on that bad boy. It was up 5 cents, but it looks really good on there. And let me pull it up on mine. And it looks pretty solid right there. It did run up yesterday, it looks like 120 or gapped up actually because it ran up. It closed Friday at 101.14 and then opened yesterday at 123. And today it was 110 to 115, back to 109 and closed at 115 and does look pretty solid right there. And it is setting up. So NXPL looking pretty decent right there. Let's take a look at OMH because this was way down at the bottom and it's trying to curl up. Another one looking pretty decent right there. OMH, keep a look at that. It's going to roll off of there and curl up. I don't know if it's going to do it tomorrow, but it's getting set up to do something soon. And I'll watch it and see when it's going to do it, and we'll let you know. SGLY is actually getting set up right here, too. This one's curling up. And I think that one's trying to get moving tomorrow. Let me confirm that one. SGLY. Yeah, I think you have a mover right there with that one. So take a look at that tomorrow. SGLY. Well, how much volume did it have? 37,000. So it might not be anything that crazy, but you could get some movement. And again, we've watched plenty of them like that Rocket, the chocolate one, whatever it was called, Rocky Chocolate something. I don't even know, but we proved that the volume wasn't everything, and once the setup was perfect, the volume poured in and the thing popped. So this one kind of similar. Keep an eye on it, and it could be setting up like that. SMR new scale. I think this one it was running the top. I wouldn't mess with it. It is setting up bullish there though. SMR. But I would let it pull back first. I just don't like to chase them, especially when they've been in the top a few times. But Swag, SWAG, Strand and Company, this one ran up yesterday, it pulled back today, but setting up super bullish. Swag, just look for any dips here and see if it can pull back and dip it all back to this 108. It's at 113 and it'll be pretty good or anything under that area, even if it can dip to the 105 area because that is setting up the run pretty soon, I'll say that. And that's SWAG and TOP, the top financial group. Oh, this one looks like it wants to be a runner tomorrow as well. TOP. I know we looked at this not long ago. On mine, it has a little pullback. I'll have to look at this tomorrow. It is setting up right there, but maybe it's not. I'll look at it in the morning. Mine showing a little bit of a healthy pullback, but again, it could get moving, crawled right through that tomorrow and moving, and that's TOP. And let's look at that VEEE with threes, a V with threes, a twin V Power Cats, recreational vehicle company. And it looked like they were curling up the other day, just a little bit flat. You know, we're always early, so you know it's going to be curling up and looking good. So keep your eye on that VEEE because you know it'll get running. VKTX, everyone's going to be out riding recreational vehicles, partying for the Trump win. VKTX, Viking Therapeutics just pulling back there, and it's probably going to be a little dip and rip. So watch this bad boy. They're loving that dip and rip right now, and we should too because that's always a great look when they start doing that. Because you just kind of know, hey, there's that dip, there's that bottom, get it right around there, and you know it's going to be ripping, and it's pretty quick. So it looks like that could be that situation for VKTX. And we will look at VRAR. VRAR glimpse group. And this one looks like it wants to run up and get a glimpse of some running tomorrow. So if it gets up to that 70 cents, then it got up there today. But VRAR looks pretty nice right there. I would say that one's trying to run up tomorrow. So definitely take a look at that one. And let's look at WISA, WISA, because that one is, what is it, a semiconductor company, right? Yeah. And they do have earnings coming up on the 15th, which is Friday. And this thing is curling up, and WISA looks like it wants to try to get moving as well. So keep an eye on that tomorrow because that looks like it's trying to bounce up. And XTLB. Let's look at it. XTLB up 12 cents, curling up raw. This one looks great here. Let me see. XTLB, I'd say you have another runner right there. So we had a bunch right there. BENF, BFRI setting up nice. BRLT, real good. COSM, real good. MSS setting up nice. NXPL, real good. SGLY, good. TOP and VEE both setting up nice. VKTX, look for the dip and rip. VRAR, that one looks like it's popping. WISA, that one looks like it's popping. WISA and XTLB. So, that's a nice list from Laptop Travel right there. Let's go ahead and look at our crypto. I'll pop them up on my charts. Kind of figured out how to do it again, and uh, and then I'll pop them up on my app as well, just because I can get a good look at them. And here we go. Bitcoin on Coinbase. Let's see, it's at 87,630. And I'm telling you, these things might have topped out there and have to pull back. Let me pop them up on my app real quick. And yeah, I went to go look on the photos today and I somehow hit the end button, I guess, and closed the pre-market show and I ran through all the laptop travel ones. So I want to post a video. You guys can see them because I did do them all and I looked, I went, whoa, the show's not even there because I could tell there wasn't the orange button. I never noticed it in the top left corner. I didn't know what was going on. But anyway, Bitcoin again down to 87,000. I think it could have to pull back a little bit. Ethereum's at 3,228. And that one, I mean, that one still has room. It was up in the 70, so that one could be pulling back. I thought it would run up higher. Solana's back to 205, and let's see how far this one's going to have to pull back. We'll see if it's pulling back under 200 again. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to. Cardano's back to 54, and again, just kind of pulling back here. They ran up like maniacs, so I was saying they're gonna kind of run back or pull back as they run up like crazy like this. Doge is still at 38 cents, and who knows what Doge wants to do. I mean, the thing could just keep going wild. So keep an eye on that. And we'll look at WIF. Where's that at today? 299 right there. So not looking bad. And it is just kind of healthy pullback right there. So nothing crazy with WIF. And let's look at what else did I miss here? Um, Hold on one second. I wanted to look at Sheeb. Let's look at that one. That was down a little bit right there and just kind of pulling back. And again, that one has a coming down now the 70s. So I think that they're just kind of making some more room and pulling back a little bit healthy. So I don't think it's anything crazy right there. And let's look at Bonk. That was going bonkers earlier. And let's see if it still is. It's up 28% right now. And it's just got into the 70s. So maybe it's going to pull back a little bit and then these things will just set back up and get crazy. So there you go with your crypto. And again, they just ran up like maniacs and they're pulling back a little bit. Nothing too crazy right there. So that is our crypto report. And let's look at our big caps and them guys and see what you guys want to see. Let me go ahead and look real quick. Doge wants to fly. Oh, that one is crazy. I'm telling you guys, that one could just keep going nutty. Obviously with Elon and everything else, that one could definitely go crazy. Did I just do Ripple? I'll pull it up on my chart real quick. XRP. Um, USD coin there. I remembered how to do them again. I was like, oh yeah, that's how you get these bad boys. But that's at 67 and another one. I just think they're going to be pulling back. I think they topped out at that 74 and a half. And then obviously pull back to set up to run up a little bit more. So I'm not saying it's the end of the world for these, but again, that reaction was insane for what they did when Trump won. So yeah, we're gonna see some pullback, and then obviously they're gonna keep running there. So let me keep a look and see what else we have here. Here's some options. Reporting earnings on Wednesdays was at Costco, SU, VXRT, BNGO, and GOEV and NU. So there you go. And let's see what else is going on here. MGX. Let's see what that one's doing. What was that one? Metagenome or something. That one is looking really good. So yeah, keep an eye on MGX. That one looks really nice. That should be cruising. It is cruising 210 to 233, and it looks like it'll keep momentum tomorrow. So there you go. Pink Wolf wants to know if I have any tips for knowing when it's reached the top. Talking about the 20 EMA as the top. Nah, nothing's top secret with me. I show you is what I do. What I say in the top is when it's hitting like the 70 in the RSI. That's what I'm looking at as the top. And honestly, they've been very difficult to tell where they're gonna run to. Crypto's really hard because they just run up there for like maniacs. They run up and come back and stay in there. So they're really hard to tell when they're kind of topped out. Sometimes you can get a good idea, but Um, and usually in the market, I used to be able to tell until this last 3.5 years, and it was just like couldn't tell what anything was doing, to be honest. So hopefully now again we can kind of tell what they're doing. Again, I've been kind of pointing out where they look like they want to run up to, so you can kind of see in the last 2 weeks them shifting, and it looks like the charts are trying to get back to normal. So that's what I look at for that. And let's look at ACHR for Licho something. How are you this evening? Let's see what that's up to. ACHR. Archer Aviation, that's definitely a aerospace and defense. And we were looking at it recently because we went over them and it's been popping up. And we were looking at it down here in the threes and it's at 468. It's in the top. I would probably be looking to lock in some profits there, ACHR. Yeah, I mean, it could run up a little bit more. It looks like it has good momentum in the top, but you know what I say when they get to the top, you just kind of take them and just lock in some profits. You can always scale out if you love it up there and think it's going to really run, but once they get up there, you just don't know. I mean, SYRS, look at what that did. It just dropped down big time. They can just do anything at any moment. And that's why it's probability and risk. Once they get up to that top, the probability it's coming down is pretty great. And the risk of you getting up there and going higher is pretty risky. So that's what I look at. And again, if it runs higher and I sell it, it is what it is. I know I made profit and I just tell myself I couldn't go to a job and make this much, so I'll be real happy with sitting here pushing a button real quick and making way more than any job could pay me for going all day long and clocking in and out and dealing with nonsense. So just have the right attitude and look at it in a positive way no matter what, and you're making money and you really won't beat yourself up and care. And you'll lock them in, and then again, when they start coming down, and you're like, "Damn, I should have sold that thing." Um, Yeah, you should have, but that's why you should have pulled the trigger because you knew it was going to come down. Your instincts told you everything, and you just got to go with it. So lock in those profits. But yeah, ACHR, it's way up there at the top there. And so let's show something, be careful with it and grab some profits for sure. Elab, we definitely went over, and I was talking about it being under 2 cents, and it could easily get crawled up tomorrow and moving. So keep an eye on it, and it could get, like I said, it could get cruising up to like 6 cents there, and possibly even get over that depending on the volume. Had 147 million in volume today, guys. So it's getting ready and that's ELAB, ELAB. And let's see what else is happening here. And we'll go through our SPY and everything else. Let's look at our big cappers. Here we go. Let's take a peek and see what's happening. SPY, let's see, it was down $1.86. And again, I think it topped out, but it's coming down to like 5.90. So it's nothing crazy. It just needs to make some room while they set up to get even way more bullish. Um, Let's look at our buddy GameStop because that did pull back, but nothing crazy. It's still at the top up there, and it looks like it was probably going to try to bounce up higher tomorrow. Is just what it looks like to me. I don't know if it's ready to come out of that top yet. AMC, I told you that was going to get cruising, guys, and this thing's going to get cruising, guys. Take my word for that one. I told you I picked up some options in there, and I'm ready for that bad boy to move. It ran around 456 to 467, as low as 430, and it's sitting at 451, and it wants to do something, I can tell you that. So it had earnings already, and I think it looks good. So let's roll with AMC. I like it. Let's see what it can do. Chewy, CHWI, down 56 cents, and that looks like it could be pulling back now. So we'll see if it tries to bounce off that top line tomorrow and get moving back up there. And that's CHWI, NVDA, NVIDIA. That was up $3 today, and it's staying between this channel of 149 and 144, and it's at like 148. So it looks like it's going to try to bust through it tomorrow and get moving some more. So NVIDIA looks pretty good to go up tomorrow. Apple, let's look at AAPL and see what that's up to. It was at like it basically jumped up a little, jumped down, it opened at 224.55, got up to 225, down to 223. It's sitting at 224, and it's right on that line. I'm telling you, this thing's going to get set up in the next few days and try to get cruising, is what it looks like. So we'll keep an eye on Apple and see what that wants to do, but it looks like it is trying to get set up here. So that's what I think Apple wants to do. Google. It was up $1.35, and I'm telling you, I think this thing wants to run up into the top. I'm kind of surprised, but I don't know what's going on with Google, but they had something happening, I think. Um, Alphabet joins 5.6 billion funding round for Waymo, valuing AI powered startup at 45 billion. So they have something happening with some AI stuff, Google, and it is looking pretty good right there. Amazon up 207. Remember, I said it's probably going to let it pull back. It came down 208 to 209. It came down to 206, and now it's back at 209. And it's probably going to run up into the top, and it may stay up there. I'm not kidding. Amazon could get a little wild up there. We'll keep an eye on it and see what it wants to do, obviously, as it's in the top. But Amazon is going to get pretty wild. Meta up $1.65, and this thing is setting up to get wild again. I'm telling you, Zuckerberg has something crazy going on. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but maybe he's going to be joining forces with Trump too, because Zuckerberg, this thing looks great. Meta, so keep your eye on it. Let's see what that says today. Anything crazy? Um, I don't even know. They have all kinds of bullshit. But anyway, too much of news for me to look at. But anyway, Meta looks great to try to go up. So I'm saying Meta looks real good. MSFT, good old Microsoft, up $5 today, and it looks really good. So I think Microsoft's going to be running. So keep your eye on that one for tomorrow, because that one looks pretty healthy to keep going up. MSFT. So just keep your eye on Microsoft because it is looking good right there. And of course, Tesla. Let's see. I think it was down a little bit, but do you expect anything? I mean, it's been freaking wild, going nutty. So let me type it in if I could do that. Down $21. I think it's going to have to pull out of that top, come back into like the 275 range, and then get set up and get crazy again. So watch for some pullback. We'll see if that's what it wants to do. If it wants to bounce back up and stay in the top, I'm not so sure it wants to, but we'll look at it tomorrow morning and be able to tell. And good old Nike NKE, that's up to $76. And I'm telling you, this thing's about to curl up and go good, get crazy. So keep your eye on Nike because it's looking really good right there. I would say Nike looks nice for an option play. Rivian, I told you this wanted to drive itself up, and it was down 46, but went up in the after hours, and it was up yesterday. And like I said, I saw it up in the after hours there. So yeah, it went from like 10.99 to 11.72, and it's at 11.58 right now. So Rivian is moving, and we caught that bottom, like I said, at like 9.50. We knew it was, and there's Rivian moving up for us, so we knew that was going to happen. RIVN. And let's look at PLTR because this thing's been a beast up there and it's staying in the top. I'm not so sure. Like I said, as a momentum play, if anything, but be careful. I think it has to come back down. So be careful with PLTR and Sophie as well, coming back down a little bit. Been in the top for a while, and I think that it's going to have to pull back some. So just be careful with Sophie and PLTR. And, we like to get them from the bottom and take them from the top. We don't like to buy them at the top and see them pull back on us. So just be careful with them. Don't want them to get you burn on them. Dell down $2, but nothing crazy. Still setting up and going to be bullish. They have earnings coming up on the 26th at the end, right before Thanksgiving. So that's DELL. Snow. I told you guys this was going to go up this morning. It was down in pre-market and it ran up to 127 today. So I told you I had an option on that and a few options here and bam, they hit that today and I think that's going to continue to go up tomorrow. So I think snow's looking pretty decent for a little more of a blizzard, I would say. So we'll see what that can pull off tomorrow. SNOW. And let's look at AMD. This one's going to get set up. It was down $3, pulling back, but telling you this thing's about to set up relatively soon. So just keep your eye on it because it's right there. It's trying to get there. And we'll see if it can do it by the end of the weekend or by the end of the week. AMD and QCOM, Qualcomm, that was down 488 and it had run up when we thought and pulling back, hitting the line and just kind of pulling, like I said, pulling back. They all ran up like crazy. This could pull back down into the 150 area. 155 area. I mean, it's at 163. So just watch for that pullback as it sets up. And again, another one that'll go nutty. We knew PayPal was going up before. I think it topped out today. It opened up at 86 something, got up to 89, 87.92, almost 88. And it's back to 86, and I think it's going to be pulling back some. And another one just going to be setting up to be bullish, and we did see it starting to run up. We called it the other day when it was down in the lower 80s. So there you go with PayPal, PYPL, SMCI down $1.53 today, and just still trying to make that curl down in the basement. And I still think this one's going to set up and run. I'm not exactly sure what day it's going to happen, but I do think it's going to happen relatively soon. So we'll see what's going to happen with SMCI. Maybe it's not going to be until next week. We'll have to keep an eye on it down here and see what that wants to do. SMCI, INTC, this was down 89 cents, but it was up. It ran up, and like I said, it was hitting that top and pulling back. Wait for it to pull back a little more into the 23 area, and we'll reevaluate it. And I'm telling you, all these ran up really crazy, and now they're pulling back to set up to go wild. So we'll catch all the penny ones that are getting crazy now. Why these big ones and the Mag 7 set back up, and then that's when you get your options and run them from the bottom up. So that's what you're looking at, and that's at least what I've been looking at. And Disney. Remember, I said it was going over 100? Well, it's at 101. So there you go for Disney. And I was saying it down in the 94 area. So it definitely went up $5 or $6. And that's an easy option right there. DIS. So it did that. Oxy came down 52 cents. But I'm telling you, this thing's setting up super bullish. Their earnings just were today, as a matter of fact. And again, I think they did well when it pulled back. So. I'm telling you, it looked like it was going to pop off, but yeah, it's definitely setting up OXY. And let's look at Exxon Mobil. That was this thing is just setting up a base and going to get wild real soon. Exxon Mobil. So keep your eye on XOM because this one's going to be good too for an option real soon. Let me jot that down. Where are you? Right there. Mara, MARA. Let's see, MARA up 22 cents and still running up in the top. Just be careful. It can be a good momentum play, that's for sure. And Riot, the same kind of thing. It's in the top, but they're trying to pull back. And obviously, if crypto pulls back a little bit, that's when these will. So be careful with them. MSTR, MicroStrategy up another 16.59 today and in that top, but down 5 hours in the after hours. So again, be careful if crypto's just kind of topping out and pulling back a little bit, these will as well. And they all ran up like crazy. So that's MSTR. And let's look at CLSK, that Clean Spark up 2 cents. And another one that's in the top could run again, could come back down the set back up, ran up like crazy. And these ones are all tied with crypto. So you know that what it's going to do if crypto pulls back, that will too. Coinbase down 511 and again, opened at 310, went up to 327. Its low is 306 and it's at 314 and in the top. And yesterday that CONL options were crazy. I mean, absolutely berserk. So that was coin and let it pull back a little bit and set up if it wants to because it is. That's what it looks like it's doing. DJT down 294 again. Just let it set up and pull and just pull back. It ran up like crazy, and this thing will get running again, well over that $50 and over that 55 and get wild. So just have to wait for it to pull back and set up. And again, they ran up and then they start talking about them in the news. You know it's coming down. Funware, same thing. PHUN ran up. We knew it at 3, ran it up over what, 14, and now it's at 534. It's hitting that 50. I think that's going to be a pretty good spot to try to make the base. So we'll keep an eye on PHUN and MTN. That was up 57 cents. And I mean, we said that down here in the 165. It's at 182 right now. And hitting some resistance, but still ran up, and it will be bullish. And that's that Val Resorts, and it'll get good. MCD, I was surprised this was down today, but let it hit this bottom line right here at like 297. It's at 298. It got to 297.52, and I think you're going to start seeing McDonald's move. So MCD, better price action today, and just watch that bad boy get ready. And how about Boeing? It was down 379 and it actually set up bearish. It was set up yesterday differently, very bullish, and today it went bearish. So remember I told you I wasn't sure how this company was running and set up like that. Well, guess what? It changed and listened to me because it is bearish and pulling back now. And I noticed that today and I giggled to myself. I was like, what, did you hear me say that? But yeah, it definitely changed the chart and went bearish. So anyway, space, telling you this thing's just a healthy pullback and setting up to get wild right there. So keep your eye on space as well. And there you go with our nice list. And let me see if I missed anything. Let me go through here real quick. Nike options. Here you go. You can look at these bad boys. Thanks, Laptop Travel. And there you go. No problem right there. And Doge wants to fly. Boom, boom. Delete it. We did talk about Elab. You got it. No problem right there. DBGI. Yup, we added that bad boy. STX Confidential. Thank you. And cool. There we go. Let me check out the old stock twits real quick. See what's happening over here. And we'll just see what's going on real quick. What's trending? Doge is at 37. ALT, remember we looked at it yesterday. It was down. And now it's up. RKLB, that Rocket Labs at like $18 now. Remember we looked at that. It was way down. Aerospace and Defense. Bonks up 30%. Ripple's up 10. Rivian's up 5. Mara's down. SOUN, we looked at that. That's down 10%. Tesla's down. NKCAVA Cava Group is up a little bit. What is that? Is that I don't even know. CAVA restaurant. So I'm not sure what that is, but it looks like it's pulling back to me. And it did have earnings today. So it looks like it's pulling back, but it looks like it's up 14% on stock twits. So maybe that is in the after hours after everything went running. So there you go. I would say that's let's look at XBP for Stacy. She wants to see that. XBP. What's that? Oh, that's at Europe Holdings, right? That jumped up today. We were looking at that yesterday. And I don't know what I said, but it definitely popped today. I don't even know if it looked like it wanted to pop, but it sure did. I'm not so sure it wants to continue going up, but it opened at what, 147? Well, it gapped up because yesterday it closed at 91 and then it opened at 147. So XBP, that did pop up. We were looking at that last night. Um, Anything else? I think we got everything right there. And yeah, I think we did it all. And then some probably. So there you go. I would say that's a pretty good market review right there. Let me look at the scanner real quick, just see if we're missing anything. Anything jumps out at me. CERO is up at the top. LGMK, all these bad boys we looked at. LIFW, I know we looked at this because it was on there, the MSP recovery, and it did run up today and it's pulling back. I think we looked at it yesterday it was on here. on the scanner. Grab that went up. That was up in the top and ran up. Elab, I'm telling you, that's going to get set up there. FXI, that's coming down. That's the China big caps. GNS, the Genius Group, that one jumped up big time today. We weren't looking at it, just bounced off the bottom. That's one I had looked at before, but BTCT went nuts. That's way up. Lucid, like again, that one pulled back a little bit, 20 cents, but that one's not bad. NIO, this one's going to be great soon too. That's that China auto manufacturer. It's down to 458. Remember, this one ran up to like seven something. So this one's pulling back. That'll be a nice one when it gets set up. Mara IBIT, that one's way up. IBIT. And then we did look at that oh yeah, that's the MSTR inverse, so that's MSTZ. And let's see what else is going on here. Nothing real crazy. Hey, here we go. Mullen popped. Look at that. Mullen jumped up finally, guys. Oh my goodness. 173 to 342. There you go, Peninsula Life. Finally, Mullen moved. Holy cow. They should have a celebration party for that one. That'll get a bunch of people caught. It actually doesn't even look bad for tomorrow, but be careful because that's like the most diluted company ever. And there you go. MULN finally moved. I know we looked at it a bunch of times and it is a disaster of a company, I'd say. So there you go. Let's see. Yeah, I'd say we got it all. We covered everything. And of course, we'll be back at 7 a.m. for pre-market. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Laptop Travel, thank you for your great list. Little Iron Man, Eileen, O'Hare's Bastard Child, Licho Something, Luis Rodriguez, Mike Drencalo, Elena, Jennifer Lee, Sherry, Bong Prichan, JC Kratz or Jay Kratz, Buddy, Rebecca, Dwight, Sean, and everybody else that's been tuning in and hanging out, and everybody new. I greatly appreciate it. And like I say, if you want to ask anything or want me to look at anything, hit me up, shoot me a DM or a comment. I cover it all. If you throw a comment out there and I don't happen to see it, just throw me a message real quick because sometimes I miss things. There's a lot of comments and stuff, and I don't see it all, but I try to go through it all and look and make sure I answer everybody. So there you go. And I'm telling you, like I've been saying, you can see the market is just getting great. Just as we were saying back in the summer, by Halloween, it was setting up right before the election, and by Thanksgiving, it would be getting great, and by Christmas and New Year's, it would be amazing. And here we go, guys. So just buckle up because we're hitting nonstop crazy poppers and everything in between. So, like I said, if you're looking at one, run it by us and let us look at it because chances are we're going to pick out all the poppers. And here, I'll go through. I did the laptop travel list. I meant to go through the rest of them too. So, here you go. BJDX looking really good. The VCIG looking good. TNXP's looking nice. That GFAI I have to look at in the morning. RGF is looking good, and so is ALLR. And of course, DBGI, guys, that STX Confidential special right there. He's been on fire with them. So check it out. ICCT was looking nice, and that Clue, CLEU and also a little bounce play for BSFC and NDRA possibly. SAIH looking good. CYN, little bounce play or momentum play, but that TRNR is looking really good to set up and try to run. And there you go. I would say that's it. Nike, look at them options. ExxonMobil setting up. And I went through the laptop travel ones when we got done them, and I'll take a picture of this and send it out. You guys can see what I wrote down. And there you are. I'll post a bunch of the videos and get them all updated, and we'll be back on track and rocking and rolling. So thanks again, everybody. Greatly appreciate it. And I will catch you guys at 7 a.m. for pre-market. So have a good night, everybody, and I'll see you in the morning. Have a good night.